here are the biggest gaming leaks and news you've probably missed this week. Sony's PS5 sales just dropped hard. And of course, the headline sounds brutal. PS5 sales are down 46% year-over-year in the latest quarter. And yes, on paper, that looks like a disaster. But this is exactly why gaming publications need to tell the whole story. Because when you only focus on the hardware drop, you miss the actual picture. PlayStation is not collapsing. The console is entering the late stage of its life cycle. Prices went up, memory costs are squeezing hardware, and most people who wanted a PS5 already bought one. I mean, I bought multiple PS5 versions already. Am I buying another one right now? No. I'm waiting for PS6 like a normal person. And even with that slowdown, Sony still sold 16 million PS5 consoles across the full financial year, bringing lifetime PS5 sales to 93.7 million. That is an enormous number, especially considering this generation launched during a supply crisis, then walked straight into inflation, price hikes, and now a memory shortage. But here's the part getting buried. PlayStation revenue was basically flat at around $31.1 billion. Operating income was up 12%. And if you remove the Bungie impairment hit, operating income was reportedly up around 41%. Network services grew 14%. Game software revenue hit around $17.5 billion. Full game sales reached 317.9 million units, and monthly active users were at 125 million. So yeah, hardware is slowing down. Of course it is. That's what happens near the end of a console cycle, especially when the price goes up instead of down. But software, subscriptions, digital spending, and engagement are still doing the heavy lifting. That's the real story. Sony is selling fewer boxes, but the PlayStation ecosystem is still printing money. And this is why I don't buy the panic framing. The PS5 is already one of the most successful and profitable consoles Sony has ever made. The hardware number is slowing, but the platform itself is still extremely healthy. Now, does the price situation matter? Absolutely. Sony raised prices, memory costs are becoming a real problem, and the company is now openly saying PS5 hardware sales will depend on how much memory they can secure at reasonable prices. That is a wild sentence when you really sit with it. This is not normal console cycle behavior anymore. This is supply chain pressure hitting the entire industry at once. Xbox hardware revenue is also down hard. Nintendo is dealing with pricing pressure too. Consoles, RAM, SSDs, GPUs, everything is getting squeezed. But here's where Sony still has a massive advantage going into the back half of the year. Wolverine is coming, GTA 6 is coming, Call of Duty is finally leaving PS4 behind. That matters. Once GTA 6 marketing goes nuclear, once Wolverine starts showing gameplay, once Call of Duty fully moves into the current gen-only era, there are still millions of people who are going to look at their old PS4 and realize the train has left the station. So yes, PS5 sales dropped. But the better question is this: are we watching PlayStation weaken, or are we simply watching the final stretch of a console generation before Sony starts preparing the ground for PS6? Because from where I'm sitting, this doesn't look like collapse. It looks like the natural endgame of a very successful console cycle running into a brutal hardware market. So what do you think? Is Sony already moving into PS6 territory now? Or does GTA 6, Wolverine, and next-gen only Call of Duty still give the PS5 one last massive hardware push?